So since I wasn't here I was here 3 days out of the 5, and I wasn't really involved with the Google Docs process. I'm going to talk mainly about the book, Worth Doing Wrong. In the introduction, Mr. Malham states that this book was about the idea of failing, but doing so that you learn something. That was his big message. That's the mantra of the entire book. In the intro, he definitely talked about that every business its main idea should be its culture, because it does have these different tiers of ideas, and then one other thing, and then culture. And that's what people generally think that business is about, when it's not. It's culture is the most important thing, because if you can't get the people that you're selling to on board, then your product isn't going to sell at all. This applies for many different talks we've had in the past. Talks we've had in the past, much like the Golden Circle. Thinking back to the Golden Circle video, it is the why, not the what, that people care about. And if you properly dictate why, your why you're doing what you're doing, then people are more receptive to your product. I did chapter 7, and in chapter 7 he told his readers the story of how he was working at his first job, but they were renovating, so he wasn't able to be with his coworkers. But since he was able to, he had to work down two floors, but because of doing that, because he did that, he was able to interact with lower levels and with production and commercial, the commercial making and the producers for that, which definitely helped him understand all aspects of a business, and he earned some favors along the way. He also told the story of him going to his first convention, to injury lawyer convention, so he could pitch his idea to the other to different companies. And he and his partner were wearing like these big white cowboy hats, and he realized afterwards he made more of a fool of himself than he actually helped his business. But he failed with style, and it gave him a new perspective on how to run his business. He really explains and goes into detail how failing is the only way to learn, and reminds me of an old adage: if you learn from your mistakes, you learn from your mistakes, and if you won all the time, you wouldn't know what you'd done wrong, or learn anything you had done wrong. And the conclusion is super cool, because he tells the story of this redneck while he was walking in college with his buddies, and this redneck drives along by in his pickup truck and shouts out, "Camel jockey." And not only, and this was supposed to be an insult to Mr. Malham, but what it did for him, because even his friends started calling him camel jockey, camel jockey, camel jockey, but he didn't take offense at it in the first place. He thought it was actually kind of funny. I mean, it kind of bothered him, but kind of funny. And he loves telling the story because it shows how you can turn something bad into, or an insult into something positive. And that was his nickname all throughout college, and that's what he named his company after, CJ Advertising, Camel Jockey Advertising, but he calls it CJ. So it's such an amazing read, and I hope to read more if I can find some time. And it's a really interesting book, and I definitely recommend it to anybody who is thinking about, or who needs some kind of a reason to let me rephrase. For anyone who wants to run a business or realize that failing can be a good thing.